Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Let us continue our journey into the world of Scratch. For the first three videos, we have seen how we can get Sprite to do basic stuff. For example, to change its costume, to change the backdrop, to make some elementary dialogues, to even to move around. Today, we are going to change gears a little bit and have Sprite ask us questions. And hence, the name of this video is Sprite Wants an Answer. Along with this, we will also see how we can program our sprites to make some basic decisions. As you know, decisions are an important part of any computer program, and hence, today we will start the process of making some very simple decisions which later on will be used in more advanced programs. So let's get started. The session is called Sprite Wants an Answer. So as always, I go to the Scratch dashboard and I can start creating a project here, right? So today, for the purpose of this lesson, I will first thing I will change my sprite to, let's say I deleted the sprite that I had. I go here and I say choose a sprite, and now I choose a sprite. Let's say I shall choose Ben, or maybe I'll choose Avery. Okay, it doesn't matter for the purpose of this particular exercise. We could choose any sprite, but I wanted a sprite which was human looking, right? Because I want sprite to ask us questions, right? So I have chosen Avery. You can choose any sprite that you like, right? Perhaps we can resize it a little bit, and maybe we can make Avery says 80% of its size, so Avery becomes like this, right? Now, previously in the first lesson, we have seen how we can have Avery speak some dialogues, right? Basically like a comic. So we go into looks and we say, and say if we say for example we can use say or think, in which case we get a comic bubble to ask us a question, to say a dialogue, right? Now, today we are going to use a slightly different block, which is which will enable us to which will enable our sprite to ask us a question. Right now, let's see what that means. Right, so we are going to use a block in the sensing portion. Right, so let me just put together a little bit of code. So this block is called ask what's your name and wait. Right, let's see what happens here. Right, so I go, as always, go to events and I say when flag clicked, ask your name, ask what's your name, and wait. All right, so let me just there is no other sprite in this code. It's very simple. So when I click this flag button, which means when I click this flag, let us see what happens, and then we can try to understand what's going on, right? So let's say I click the flag. You notice that Avery seems to do something that it was doing when we were doing say, right? So it's got a say bubble here. But what's interesting and extra is that we have additionally got a box here for us to answer, right? Because remember, this was ask. So Avery has asked us a question and now she's waiting for an answer, right? How do we answer this? Let's say we can say, I can put my name here and I say, okay, I say my name is say Vineet, right? And okay, I got my spelling wrong. My name is Vineet, and I click done, and this program got over because we did not tell Avery to do anything else, right? So basically, Avery asked us a question, and then she just waited for our answer. When we answered, the program got over, right? We will see in the next few minutes Avery can do how Avery can process our answer and make some inferences out of it, make some decisions out of it, right? However, before going there, I want to also introduce you to something very special. All right. Now that something is in the sensing block, there is something called an answer. You notice ask what's your name and wait, and then there is an answer, right? So let us just click this answer. When I take this answer here, you notice something comes up in my screen and it says answer, and it remembers the answer that I had given earlier. Remember when Avery asked me a question, what is your name? And it was waiting for an answer. I answered my name, right? So Avery has taken that my reply and put it in a box called answer, right? Let's see this a few more times. Let's say Avery asked me, what is your name? This time I answer maybe, let's say my name is ABC, right? Let's say my name is ABC. And you notice answer has become empty right now. The moment I click this, answer becomes ABC, right? Now, what is this answer, right? Really, the concept of answer relates to what is called a variable, right? Now, today in this lesson, I am not going to cover variables. We will cover this in a later lesson. But for today, just remember that whatever you answer will be put in a box called answer. Whatever you reply, what will be put in a box called answer. And later on, our sprite can use this answer to make sentences, right? To make to basically reply back to us, right? So let's maybe take a few more examples. uh, Perhaps you do not want Avery to ask what's your name. Maybe you wanted to ask uh, how is the weather today, right? So whatever you want to ask, just like the say block, you can put it in this text. You change this weather here, change the text here, and Avery would ask exactly that. Remember, just like any other sprite, Avery is equally obedient. It will do whatever you are telling it to do. So in this particular code, we are saying when flag clicked, ask how is the weather today and wait, right? Which means that when I click the flag, answer becomes empty immediately. How's the weather today? Avery is asking me. There's a question mark because I have put it that way. Now I tell Avery, okay, it's rainy. It's raining right now. So I say rainy. And when I do this, all Avery does right now is that she takes this answer rainy and puts it in a label called answer, right? You can probably think of this answer as a box that Avery has. We will learn more about this as we go along, right? So let's say, just for now, understand that it's taking your reply, the rainy, putting it in a box for itself, right? And let's move on from here. Yeah. Now let's say I will go back to my earlier question, which was, what is your name? Right? So let's say I go back to this, what is your name? Right? Now Avery wants to ask me what's my name. So when I click the flag, Avery asks me, what is your name? And I answer Vineet, right? Uh, for me to complete my answer, I should say answer and then click this tick mark, right? Now, won't it be nice if Avery greeted me, right? Avery knows that somebody called Vineet is trying to talk to me. Won't it be nice if Avery could reply back saying, hello, Vineet, right? Or hey, Vineet, how are you, right? How do we do that? Let me introduce you another block called, a very interesting name called join apple banana, right? So let's see what this join apple banana does, right? So I'm going to drag this here. Join apple banana is basically joining two pieces of text. All right. So for example, I can say, let's combine this with the say block, and I say, so previously we have done this, say hello for some time. Now instead of hello, I put say join apple banana for 2 seconds, and here I can say hello, and remember, whatever reply I'm giving to Avery is getting stored as a box, as a label called answer. So I can go to sensing and I can just drag this answer here to this point, right? So let's see this carefully. What have we done? We have done a lot of things. Let me just recap, give you a little bit time to sort of absorb. We said when flag clicked, ask what is your name and wait, right? Now after I reply, whatever name I'm giving, whatever answer I'm giving, whatever reply I'm giving, Avery is calling it an answer. It's giving it a label called answer, right? And we are telling Avery, you join hello and answer and say that for 2 seconds, right? So let's see it with an example. When I click flag, right? What's your name? It says, I say my name is Vineet. Avery says, hello, Vineet. And I feel good because Avery greeted me now. Let's say Avery wants us to ask a question like, what is 2 plus 2? All right. So when flag click, Avery will ask us, what is 2 plus 2? And wait, right? So now I say, I click the flag. Avery asks me, what is 2 plus 2? The reply expected out of me is, of course, 4. So when I say 4, answer becomes 4, right? So remember, whatever reply I'm giving to Avery is getting stored in a box in a label called answer, right? So this time answer became 4, right? Now, won't it be nice if Avery could decide whether my reply to her question was right or not, right? So right now I'm telling Avery what is, she is asking me what is 2 plus 2 and waiting. I'm saying 4. Very good. If I say 5 also, Avery has no way of figuring out whether my answer was correct or not correct, right? So answer to my question whether Avery can decide or not, answer is obviously yes, but we have to program Avery to make that decision. Now remember, this is important. Avery itself does not think, right? Avery has no mind of her own, right? It will do whatever you as a programmer are telling her to do, right? So how can we ask her to decide? Well, we have to use something from the control block, right? And the specific thing that we will use today is called this if then else, right? So it's a very important programming construct, right? So we will use this if then else, right? So now how do I understand what is if then else, right? The way to understand this is that this is like a T junction on a road. All right. So let's say you're going on a straight road and you come to a point where there is a T junction. What does that mean? That means there's a road going left and there's also another road which is going right, right? And now you have to decide, should I go left or should I go right, right? And once you go left, you just go left, right? Once you go right, you go right, right? So here, what are the two roads? I am telling Avery, if, so I go to operators, let's say I say if, notice these blocks here, I say if, and let's say I put this diamond in this, right? And I say if answer is equal to 4, because I know the answer to this question should have been 4. So I tell Avery, if answer is equal to 4, then you can say I don't need join hello apple banana anymore. You can say well done, right? Maybe for 2 seconds you can say well done. Uh, if the answer is not 4, which means if I do not reply the correct answer, maybe Avery can act a bit surprised and say, I thought that was easy, right? Maybe that can say for 2 seconds. So now what has happened here? Let's see this very carefully, okay? When flag clicked, Avery is going to ask us what is 2 plus 2 and wait, right? It will keep waiting till we put our reply and click that tick. Yeah. Once we click that tick, remember Avery is going to take whatever you have given her as a reply and label it as an object, as a variable called answer, right? Now you are telling Avery that Avery, you are on a T junction. You have to decide whether to go right or left. What is right? But in this case, right and left is arbitrary. But let's say I say right is if the answer is equal to 4, which means if whatever reply you have been given is equal to the correct reply, say well done for 2 seconds. If it is not, then say I thought that was easy. Let's just see what happens here. When I say what is 2 plus 2, let's say I actually answer 4. Notice I'm answering 4. When I click this, all right, Avery says, well done, right? Now, sometimes student ask me, why did Avery not say well done? And after that say, I thought it was easy, right? The reason is because remember, this if then else is like a T junction, right? So Avery has basically decided to go on one of the two paths, right? So Avery is doing everything that's in here in the if portion if the answer is equal to 4, right? If, let's say, I gave another answer, what is 2 plus 2? And let's say this time I say 6. Of course, my answer is wrong, right? Notice I'm giving 6. What does Avery do? Avery says, I thought that was easy, right? Avery is not happy about it, right? It said that for 2 seconds. Remember, this time it did not say well done because, again, on a T junction, it decided whether it's going to the say well done path or it's going to the say I thought that was easy path, right? Now, this basic concept of using an if then else condition is something we will be using a lot in the days to come, right? So this is a T junction. It's got a little brother of it, which is just called a gate. And I'll cover that in a later lesson. But I really want you to think about if, then, else. And the best analogy I can think is you are going on a road, you hit a point where you either go left or you go right, right? So based on a decision, you go one way or the other, right? Let's say now some of you might be wondering, let's say if I took another example, right? And let's say I ask Avery to ask me a question, give me a number more than 5, right? So what does that mean? Avery wants a number which is more than 5, right? So again, here, if I give answer of 4, should Avery say well done? No, because 4 is actually less than 5, right? So I want Avery to say well done if I give her an answer which is more than 5, right? So again, Sprite gives me a condition to do so, and instead of using equal to block here, I shall use this greater than. So I'll replace this thing here, I'll put this away, and I say if I go to sensing, say if answer is greater than 5, and again remember Avery has no mind of its own, it is following what we are telling it, right? So I said give me a number more than 5, and hence I'm saying if answer is more than 5, say well done. Otherwise say, look, I thought that was quite easy, right? Because it's a simple question, right? So if Avery asks me give me a number more than 5 and I say 75, say 87, great. So Avery will say well done, because clearly the number that I replied to her, which is 87, is more than 5, right? On the other hand, let's say Avery says, give me a number more than 5, and I said 2, right? Avery won't like it because Avery did not take this path, it instead went on the other path and it said, I thought that was very easy, right? And it was an easy question after all, right? So basically, what we are seeing here is that first, Avery is asking us a question and waiting. Subsequently, whatever we are replying, it is labeling that as a quantity called answer, and then it's able to make a decision that whether my answer is correct or not correct, right? Again, remember, it's not Avery that is making the decision is really being made by you, right? You are telling Avery, or as a programmer, I am telling Avery what to do, and that's a very important point. Avery does not think. Okay, now you might wonder, if I ask a question whose answer is not a number, right? For example, I can ask a question, what is the capital of India, right? Uh, so you might wonder, okay, now obviously the answer is not 4 or 5, right? Uh, so how can I handle this, right? So it turns out Sprite or Scratch again allows you to do so. Again, let's go back to this. Answer is equal to, let's say, if. So now what should I do? I can say answer is equal to Delhi. Then Avery will say, well done. Otherwise, it might say, I thought that was simple, because of course, most of us, I think, would know what is capital of India, right? So let's say I run this code. What happens? Avery asks me a question. What is the capital of India? If I answer Delhi, right, it says well done. And remember, whatever I replied gets stored as this label called answer. So answer became Delhi. And let's do it again. I said Delhi, right? So notice answer became Delhi and answer will become Delhi, and Avery says well done because it's on a T junction. It has decided that you are giving a correct answer, right? So now at this point you might wonder, well, the answer could be New Delhi also, right? So how do I handle? Now there's a situation where the answer is either Delhi or New Delhi, right? So again, worry not, use this block called the OR block, right? So what can I do? I can put the condition here and then I can replicate this little thing and I say if answer is equal to Delhi or answer is equal to New Delhi, right? So or whatever else you want to do. So if let's say I say answer is equal to Delhi, so now what we are telling Sprite is ask a question, what is the capital of India, and wait. If the person who's talking to you replies either Delhi or New Delhi, right? So whether the answer is given is Delhi or New Delhi, you can say well done. Otherwise, you say, I thought that was easy, right? So let's see what Sprite does, right? What is the capital of India? Let's say I go and answer London, right? So obviously the answer is wrong, and our Sprite doesn't like it, right? Because it's an easy question. However, let's say I say Delhi, right? Now, good thing is you can put it in capital letters. It doesn't matter, right? Sprite thinks it's well done, right? So I can answer Delhi. I can answer New Delhi, right? So it could be in capital letters. It could be in whichever form, right? Sprite will be okay with that, right? However, and pay attention to this, right? Let's say I ask, what is the capital of India? And I tell New, I give 3 or 4 spaces and then I say Delhi, right? Sprite will mostly not understand this. The reason is because Sprite has no mind of its own, right? It is just comparing your answer to this or to this, right? And in this particular thing, I had exactly 1 space between New and Delhi. One question that students ask me is, can I put answer equals to Delhi or New Delhi? Like we would speak in our, day-to-day word that, well, look, if the capital of India can be called Delhi or New Delhi? Well, the answer, the way to do it in Scratch or actually in any programming language is to do what we are doing here, right? So first you cover is if answer is equal to Delhi or answer is equal to New Delhi, right? So because this or is kind of like an operator for the Scratch, right? For Sprite, right? So if you tell answer is equal to Delhi or New Delhi, it's going to get confusing, right? And the simple way to remember that is that notice these or and all of that is in a diamond, and these conditions are also like a diamond, right? So diamond fits into a diamond, right? So you remember that you just have to say if answer is equal to, oops, what happened here? So if I, right, if answer is equal to Delhi or answer is equal to New Delhi, then we say well done, and um, pretty good, right? So now let's say I change the style a little bit. Let's say I go back to my previous question. What is 2 plus 2, right? Now I want to teach you something which is quite useful, although a little bit advanced, right? So let's say, previously we have done this, that let's say we had done, we had said if answer is equal to 4, then say well done. Otherwise, say I thought you'll do better, right? How do I do that? If then else is already put, I just go and put answer equals to 4. So I put this block here, something equal to 50. I change that 50 to 4, right? And here I go and put answer, right? So if I go and put answer here, right? And then you see what happens, right? We have seen this 2 plus 2. If the reply given is 4, Sprite says well done, right? Now let's say I want my Sprite to keep asking me this question till it gets the correct answer, right? What does that mean? That let's say I want it to keep on asking me, right? Repeatedly ask me this question till it gets the correct answer, right? So there is a block in Scratch and in most programming languages which allows you to do so, and that block is called repeat until, right? Now, this is a little bit advanced, so take your time to digest this. Take your time to think through this, but it's quite a powerful construct. So I just wanted to show you, right? So what I can do is I can wrap this entire code into a repeat until block, right? So when I do this, now let's see what happens here, right? So what we are telling is that repeat until some condition. And what is that condition? Again, I can take this here, I can duplicate this, and I can paste this over here, right? So what we are telling Sprite is that until you get the answer of 4, keep asking what is 2 plus 2, right? So if let's say I answer, so Sprite starts, answer will be, first time, let's say I answer 5, and we can do that here. So when I click flag, repeat until answer is 4, which means that keep on asking this question till you get the answer of 4, right? So it asks me what is 2 plus 2. Let's say I give 5, right? And I says, okay. So Sprite says, I thought that was easy. And then it asks me again. Why did it ask me again? Because remember, it has been told to repeat this entire loop until it gets an answer of 4, right? Why 4? Because that is the correct answer, right? So basically, like, let's say again I try, I say maybe this time I answer 8. Let's say I'm really ignorant of mathematics. I answer 8. Again it says I thought that was easy, and it says what is 2 plus 2. Sprite is so patient, it will not get angry until it gets an answer of 4. It will keep repeating this, right? So let's say I say 6. Again it says, well, I thought that was easy, please tell me what is 2 plus 2, right? Finally, let's say if I say 4, right, it will say well done and stop. Why did it say well done? Because it basically came to this T junction here, like always, right? This time it got answer 4, so it got out of the T junction. But since I've got the answer 4, it did not repeat further, right? So remember, this is repeat until I get that answer, right? And you can use this to, for example, have a Sprite ask us a question until it gets the correct answer, right? So sometimes when we make a quiz game, you can use this kind of a feature, right? So uh, let's just recap. Uh, Everything that we did today is on the screen right now. So let's go back several steps and ask ourselves what we have done, right? So primarily, we have gotten started with this sensing block, and we have looked at a block called what's your name and wait, right? Ask what's your name and wait. In this block, I can change this what's your name here to any question that I want, right? So I can have my Sprite ask me any question that I like, right? And it will ask that question and then wait. What does that do? It will create a text box kind of thing for me where I can enter my reply, right? Now, whatever reply I give, the Sprite is going to call that an answer, right? So, for example, the last answer was 4, and hence it's calling answer as 4, right? Answer is a variable. We will learn about variables in a few classes from today, right? But Sprite will call anything that you answer, anything that you reply as an answer, right? Now we saw how Sprite can make a basic decision whether my reply, my whatever response I gave, whether it was correct or not, right? So I use the if then else condition for that. If then else is like a T junction where you either go one direction or the other direction, right? So here I'm saying if the answer provided is 4, then say well done. If not, say I thought that was easy. And you can make this message anything, right? You can say, well, come on, do better, and so on and so forth, right? We saw that the answer and the question can be anything. Answer could also be a name. Answer could be multiple names in which you could use something or something, right? So answer is equal to this or answer is equal to that, right? And for those people who are more advanced, you can try, adventurous, you can try the and block and what does it do, right? So I leave that to you, but this is good enough for now. Finally, we looked at how we can use repeat until to keep on asking a question until we get the right answer, right? So that basically was, for example, when I say expecting an answer of 4, until I get that answer, I will keep on repeating this, right? So with this, uh, I urge you to go back and try these codes yourself, right? And I'm done. What we have learned today is the basic act of asking a question and some simple decisions, right? So this, what we covered today, is going to go a long way with us in all the things that we are going to do in Scratch. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Take care. Bye bye.